All right, so over here in the palette, I've laid out some fairly thick, let's say yogurt consistency pure colors, just a little dab there of yellow, red, and blue, and they're waiting for me. And then I take a mixture of yellow and red to begin with and make kind of an orange color. And with my rigger, and it's best to have quite a big rigger. So you had shared with me your skinnier one. This is a number 6, and it works really nicely for this. However, you can also use like a number 8 or so round, just a typical round. I just find more versatility with this fat rigger. So you're starting at the bottom and pulling up and tapering to a point. Let's do a grouping. So these are tree trunks, quote unquote. Make this guy a little bit shorter. Make this guy farther away and wider, just for interest's sake. Up, 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 up. And then in that same mixture of the orange and red, you start doing it like a push-pull action. So your push, and see, drag, what we call scumbling. Push, pull, push, pull, all the way up and down the tree. That brevity of stroke is really powerful. They look just less worked up when you can try and get it with one stroke, like golfing or something. You know? So push, pull, push, pull. Now, so as we work, the paint is starting to set and dry. So now I can go in with the, say, the red and the blue. It doesn't really matter. And start to work back into the golden, the yellow to begin with. And let little wets happen within, like this is these yellow, initial yellow marks are like the path for the paint, right? So now as I add these mixtures,
low battery, so we're going
okay. Well, so I think what you saw was enough.
Yeah.
And then so see, these are all still wet.
No, now you got some browns.
Yeah, and I mean, it's your call. You could be a little more careful about the colors, but you're right. As we work, the colors become more neutralized. If there's too brown, then change, add more pigment. But I'm going to say that the light's coming this way, for instance. So now the paint is setting, or rather drying. So now I'm going to go in on the quote unquote shaded side of the trunks, like that. And I'm going to say lights coming across those trees, let's say in the morning or something. So beautiful wet and wets are happening, and watercolor's doing its thing. And then also as the sun, or rather the paint even dries more, purple is a really good go-to color to evoke shadows. So underneath the boughs of all these, let's say their form and they cast shadow. So let's say underneath them, just underneath them, in each of these. Do you see how that looks?
Yeah.
So much like beautiful light is hitting the trees now. And in no time at all, you've got yourself light running across trees.
Lovely.
Right, so to practice that, this push-pull thing, you can actually take your brush and just, it doesn't even matter what color it is, and just do it on newspaper or something, right? Or even just water, like those Buddha boards, you know, have you ever seen those? And just practice that stroke of push-pull. You can do it with a fat
oriental.
It does, doesn't it? By the way, also your tooth of your paper is helpful. So if you're using rough, you'll get more organic, you know, this kind of thing. So really just pushing and pulling, push, pull, all the way up the form. You could just spend hours doing